Hey guys, RandomFire50 here, and today will be the first video showcasing a theme team in Sword and Shield that isn't monotype. And the team for the occasion is my Beatles team. My team based around the British band The Beatles. I'm actually a really huge Beatles fan, so that's why I chose to go with it. So here I lead off with my soul rock named George. It's named George because of the song Here Comes the Sun, and George Harrison wrote that song, so I sent him out first. But realizing that Grimmsnarl does super effective damage against Soul Rock, I switch it out and I go into John, which is my Walrein, which I named it that because I Am the Walrus, which is a song John Lennon wrote. It was penned by Lennon McCartney, but it was pretty much written by John Lennon, even though McCartney's name is still on the song. So yeah, we have I Am the Walrus. He sings that song too, so we have John. So I go for a pure liquidation, trying to get some damage. He gets a reflect up, so I have to deal with light screen and reflect, because he got light screen up when I went for the switch. You got a free light screen and a reflect up. Go for liquidation, doesn't do too much. Don't get defense drop, really unfortunate. Go for another one. He goes for a Thunder Wave, which that's not going to matter too much anyway, because this Walrein is running a Brave Nature. So it's a speed lowering move, and we have 0 speed IVs, and it's already being unfortunate because we already got a paralyze, so that's not good. Walrein's just gonna sit here, and he withdraws his Grimmsnarl, and he goes into Sanji, which is Zapdos. I don't know if is that its name, or is it he just named it that. So we go for a liquidation. Does a decent chunk, and I'm thinking, well, Avalanche is super effective damage, and we're for sure gonna go last because of our speed thing, and we're paralyzed. He goes for Thunderous Kick and actually takes me out, which I was not expecting, because we're actually full HP investment, not special defense, but like still I wasn't expecting that to kill. So I go into, what do I do? Do I go into Martha? I go into Martha, which is my Bolthund, which Martha's named after Paul McCartney's sheepdog, and he wrote a song about it called Martha My Dear. And so, yeah, and the funny thing about this Bolthound, he goes for Thunderfang and nearly takes out Zapdos, almost. The funny thing about this Bolthound is actually from my original playthrough team that I then reset the EVs on and super trained. But she ended up going down, so that's really unfortunate. So I end up going into Ringo, another Pokemon from my original playthrough team, my starter actually, which I also gave an ability patch to, that's why this video took so long to get out, because I had to get the ability patch, and Dynamax Adventure takes a long time, which I also, and reset the IVs, and hyper trained it. So we have a competitive starter that was my original starter when I first got the game, so I thought that was really cool. So I go for Grassy Glide, and Ringo is, of course, the drummer of the Beatles, and I end up taking out that Galarian Zapdos with the Grassy Glide, even though Zapdos resisted the Grassy Glide, which that's just because of how ridiculous Grassy Surge is with Grassy Glide. That's such a broken move. But yeah. He goes into Incineroar, which is going to intimidate my Rillaboom here, which is annoying. So I think I'm forced to switch out here. Yeah, I'm forced to switch out. So I go into Rocky, which is a Pokemon based off of the Beatles song Rocky Raccoon. It's off the White Album. It's a song about a cowboy who ends up getting shot because his girlfriend gets taken. It's actually really sad. So the Incineroar goes for Dark Slayer. It doesn't do anything because we're a Dark type. So yeah, Rocky comes out. This is actually the same set I had for my my Obstagoon, shiny Obstagoon named Stardust. The same set. It's a Guts burn set with a Flame Orb. So yeah, I got the burn off from the switch out, and he goes into his Dragapult, and I go for an Obstruct thinking he wouldn't stay in, but he does. So the burn damage actually gets negated by the grassy terrain that's up, so that's good. And the Reflect wears off, so that's even better for me. So I go for a knockoff, and I'm thinking here, Dragapult isn't going to do anything to OHKO me, I don't think. Which I was right, he wasn't able to OHKO me, but U-turn still does a lot of damage, and then he gets a switch in. But nothing's going to want to take knockoff, because that's going to be double damage, because it's going to be knocking anything's items off, so it's going to be double, it's going to be like 120 damage, I think, knockoff does when it's at full power, so it's going to go into Grimmstar, who's unfortunately going to resist this, but we are able to knock off the Light Clay, so he's not able to put up another light. Well, he's still going to be able to put up another light screen or reflect, but it won't be nearly as many turns because he cannot, with the light screen up, like the Light Clay, because Light Clay extends it to 8 turns. And it normally goes up for like 3 or 5. I'm not sure how much it is. I think it... No, okay. I think it goes normally 3 turns, and then it goes up to 5 with Light Clay. So I do Facade, it nearly takes it out. So he does a Prankster Reflect, and now he's going to be able to get Light Screen off too, since we're not going to be able to take him. The Reflect actually probably mattered in not taking it out, which is super unfortunate. Grassy Terrain disappears from the field, and we're going to go for another obstruct, or no, we don't go for obstruct, we go for another Facade. Just try to take it out, just so we can get this off the field. It can stop putting up light screens and reflect. I just realized that we're in the Rock Gym. Rock Gym's sort of cool. I like it. Rock Gym. What a twist. So, we're just sitting out here. We're in a pretty decent position. I think we're about tied up when it comes to about Pokemon. Is that an elephant in the background of the stadium? That's wild. I wonder what is that supposed to be, like a Pokemon or anything? But okay, so he goes out into Golisopod, and I go for Obstruct, knowing he's gonna go for First Impression. Just right off the bat. Because that's what every Golisopod carries First Impression, or most of them do. Maybe there's some weird special sets that don't, but yeah, most of them carry First Impression. First Impression is actually a pretty good move. So we're able to drop the defense on that Golisopod. Our defense is... I mean, we're running out of HP with that thing, but he goes for Aqua Jet, which I forgot he had, so Rocky goes down. And we go out into... let's see, the suspense is killing me, even though I did this battle already. We go out into Paul, which is the last Pokemon from my original in-game team from my original playthrough, and I don't think I mentioned that Rocky also was the Obstagoon. So yeah, Rocky and Obstagoon were also, Rocky and Paul were also from my in-game team. Paul is also obviously based off Paul McCartney from the Beatles, and we go for a Brave Bird, easily taking out Golisopod. No, we don't take out Golisopod. I don't know why I said easily, but it's funny thing is, I went in full intention of like my playthrough, because I was like gonna name all of my Pokemon after the Beatles, my first original playthrough of Sword and Shield. But then I wasn't able to find a George or a John. Like, I didn't think any of the other Pokemon were fitting. Like, Ringo, of course, because he's a drummer. And then Paul, I just thought, well, Sir Paul McCartney, Sirfetch'd, because Paul McCartney was knighted. So, like, Sir Paul McCartney, Sirfetch'd. So I thought that was a pretty appropriate nickname. But he goes out into Lycanroc here. We were able to take out the Golisopod. So he goes out into his Lycanroc. And our Citrus Berry gets procced, and we go for a close combat, taking out the Lycanroc. So Paul is doing pretty good work here. We are going to get that special defense and Defense Lord. We are 252 speed, EV's investment, 252 attack investment. So Lycanroc goes down, and he goes back into Golisopod, so I guess we didn't kill it, and I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy talking about my mindset behind the team, but I guess he switched out. So we're gonna go for a... Oh, it was emergency exit, that's why he got... So we're gonna go for another Brave Bird, and hopefully take it out, but he's actually gonna be able to... Oh, I thought he was gonna reverse press. So he Aqua Jets. Nearly takes me out, but we're getting able to use a Brave Bird and finally get rid of this Golisopod, and we're gonna take ourselves out in the process from that recoil damage. So Paul is gonna go down. And now it is time to go into George again. He didn't see any action last time he was in. So we got Solrock coming in, Paul, and he's got Incineroar coming in. Intimidate's not going to do anything, so we're special Solrock, and we're in a pretty good position because he is an Incineroar. I am a Rock type. I'm Bergen out speed because we have full speed investment on this Solrock, and we are able to get a Meteor Beam off because we are holding, what is it called? It's Power Herb. Yeah, we're holding Power Herb, so we're able to get a Meteor Beam off, and this is going to do a ton of damage because it's a 150 power base move. We are full special attack invested, and we completely eviscerate the Incineroar. It goes down. So he has one Pokemon left, and we have two, so we're sitting pretty here. So he's going to go into Dragapult. I actually make a pretty big mistake here, because I was thinking, well, I could keep Rillaboom and Dynamax Rillaboom and save it, but I was like, I have done barely anything with George, and Rillaboom already got a KO, so I was like, I really want to use this Solrock and do more. But he also is so I decided to Dynamax the Solrock, and he's going to Dynamax Dragapult as his last effort to win, which was so I decided to Dynamax Solrock. He decides to Dynamax Dragapult. Yeah, there's an obvious winner here, and who wins this exchange, Dynamax versus Dynamax. And let me tell you something, it's not George. The sun is coming. The sun is coming pretty slowly, but not. The sun is not coming fast enough to win. Well, to win itself. So, yeah, we have our big giant sun, George Harrison, here, coming in. But Dragapult is gonna move first, go for a max Flutterby actually, which is even, like, worse because it's gonna lower our special attack. So we're gonna be doing even less damage, and it gets us nearly to red. Like, nearly knocks us out. I mean, not nearly to red, it gets us to red. It nearly knocks us out. We go for a max Rockfall, doing not a lot of damage to Dragapult. Like, we're not even getting it to yellow. So that is unfortunate. I made a mistake Dynamaxing Solrock. What I should have done is just waited and Gigantamax Rillaboom, but I was able to salvage it because I go for a max guard. So he's going to go for a max Warhim, trying to just take me out, I guess, because he already used max Flutterby. It didn't really matter what he was going to use, didn't take me out, so kind of just stalled there a bit. So he went for, so the Sandstorm damage hit him, and he goes for a max Warhim and is able to take out George. But the reason why I went for the max guard was to stall out his Dynamax, right? So now he's going to be out of Dynamax this turn, and Rillaboom's just going to be able to come in. He takes more damage from Sandstorm, and I'm thinking here, well, Dragapult does resist Grassy Glide, but he's at low enough HP where if he's out of Dynamax, I think Grassy Glide should be able to pick up the win here. So that was my mindset going in. And he shrinks down, reacts to regular Dragapult. And we go for our Grassy Glide. I could have, or did I go for Grassy Glide? Let's see. I don't remember. Oh yeah, no, I went for Grassy Glide, just in case he had any crazy moves that could one-shot me. I didn't want to risk it. So we are able to take out the Dragapult, picking up our win with our Beatles team. This is the first battle. We actually did another battle with this, and it was actually a little less close. So we'll go straight into that one. Now, here we are in the second battle. This is against some foreign name I can't, I'm not even sure. I think it's Asian. I'm not sure what type, though. But here we are in our second battle. And sorry, we're misgendering people again. I keep doing that. She leads with the totally legit PokemonGen.com, a shiny Tapu Lele, 100% legit. And we lead with John, who I figured that he had a lot of special attackers on his team, so I figured he was going to lead with a special attacker. And I was right, so the counter to that was my Assault Vested Walrein. So that's immediately what I did. Is I went to my Sirfetch'd Walrein, and I know that the Tapu Lele couldn't do a lot to me, and I knew I was gonna be attacking last, so I knew Avalanche would do double damage. So we're gonna have a 120 power Ice type move. But we got paralyzed again. John just keeps getting paralyzed in these battles, but that we end up doing a lot more damage in that trade than he did, or she did, sorry. And we go for our second Avalanche, and we're able to do over half, and she goes for a Thunderbolt, doing some more damage to us, but we're able to break through Parahacks and get that second Avalanche off, taking out Tapu Lele, which is really nice, and Tapu Lele goes down. So we're in a pretty decent position. Walrein is below half health, but so he goes out into Zeraora, and here I'm thinking, wow, so John is kinda a sitting duck right now. It's paralyzed, it is below half health, so there's not much else I can do. So he goes for he decides to opt to go for a close combat, finishing off John. And I don't know why he went for close combat as opposed to Plasma Fist, because that wouldn't have lowered his like defenses, but I don't know, that was his decision. So I go out into George here, because I know that he couldn't do anything to Oko me. I knew that. So he goes for a Plasma Fist, and I was just gonna try to get some setup going. So he goes for a Plasma Fist. Doesn't even take me below half health. Almost does, not quite though. So I go for a Rock Polish. Now I'll be able to outspeed that Zeraora, and now I have a Speed Sword Leechope, and I decide to go for a Earth Power. For a minute there, I just was thinking about going for a Meteor Beam because, well, I could raise my special attack and maybe like kill Zeraora, but I wasn't sure on Meteor Beam's killing ability, and then I also maybe didn't want to proc that 150 power move too early because I only get one fully free charge of it. And Earth Power doesn't actually kill, and he goes for another close combat, lowering his defenses even more. So yeah, his defenses get lowered. And I think that was Psychic. There was it was Psychic Terrain. That was Psychic Terrain from Tapu Lele. So Psychic Terrain goes away. And we go for our second Earth Power into the Zeraora, taking it out. So I was in a pretty cool position at this point. So I had a Soul Rock that was pretty much set to outspeed, I think, almost anything on its team unless they had priority. And I still had a fully powered up Rock type move I could use, Meteor Beam I could use, which is a 150 power base move, which is really good. And that's exactly what I decide to do here. I decide to go for Psyshock because Sylveon is a specially defensive Pokemon, and Psyshock hits your defense. So I was like, well, this is free real estate. So I was like, hey, let's hit it. And it almost does half, which is pretty good damage for a Soul Rock. And I was a little confused here because he went for a Double Edge, revealing that it was an actually physical Sylveon, which aren't too common, and it probably had Pixelate. So I decided to go to Rocky, figuring out it's physical, because, well, he's going to hit me, so I can go for Obstruct and lower its defense for getting my burn up from the Flame Orb. And I should be able to take it out with a Facade after that. So I go for Obstruct, and he goes for Swift, actually, confusing me even more. So this is a mixed Sylveon, and he's using Swift, which is not the most competitive move, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I guess if you're really concerned about hitting things with evasion. But now he goes for Quick Attack, so now he goes for his physical move, outspeeding me. But we go for his Facade, easily taking out Sylveon in one hit. That's like 120 base power move because we're burned. And we have the Guts, and it's Stab, because Obstagoon is a normal type as well as a dark type. I actually really like Obstagoon. As soon as I saw him, I knew he was one of my favorite Pokemon of this generation. It was super cool. And now we have mgdiscord.co, the shiny Celesteela. That's also 100% legit. So I go for Obstruct, not knowing what kind of set this Celesteela was. Hoping I could get a defense boost on it, and I was right. It did end up going for a physical move. I was right to do that. So we are able to get the defense lower, which is really cool. Harsh defense lowered, so that's awesome. So I decided to go for a close combat here, which I regret low-key because I got my defense and special defense lower. I should have gone for a knockoff because it would have done around the same damage, and we would have got rid of his item, and we wouldn't have taken more damage from his heavy slam, which eventually takes us out. I don't know if that matters or not with the defense drop. It could have, but he goes for a beast boost. I saw that, I'm like, that was scary because its defense could have been lowered or special defense could have been lowered, but actually no, it's special attack lowered, which it was attacking physically. So I'm not sure if this guy knew, or sorry, this girl knew exactly what she was doing. So I go for a sword stance here, figuring, well, I don't think he's going to be able to do much to me. Like, I haven't seen him use any move that would threaten me, so I was like, oh, let's go for a sword stance, let's try and get some momentum going here. And he goes for a skull bash, which I've never seen that on a Celestial before, but I'm like, well, more for me, more sword stances up for me, because Skull Bash I know is not going to do anything to me, because that's a normal type move. At most going to do like less than a quarter, about a quarter. So we are at 4 times attack now. He does a little, about a quarter, and I decided to go for a max airstream, just completely getting even more momentum here. And I was just contemplating whether or not max airstream would kill, but we were at 4 times attack, so like there was no way that it wouldn't kill at the like HP that Celestial was at. So we're Dynamaxing Paul here, going for that max airstream into it, getting a speed boost, and hopefully picking up the KO. Which we picked up the KO. A Sirfetch'd is another one of my really cool Pokemon I liked. I really liked that they gave Pokemon Galar forms and then gave them evolutions. But I was like, I was just confused to why Galarian Farfetch'd exists. Like, I feel like regular Farfetch'd could have just evolved into Sirfetch'd. I don't feel like Galarian Farfetch'd was really needed. But yeah, we took the Celestial there and got our speed boost, so we're in a really good position. We're at 4 times attack, and he goes for his mg.discord.co again, which this time it's a Landorus shiny. Tries to intimidate us, but we have the Scrappy ability, which cannot do that. And Sirfetch'd was another Pokemon from the adventure, like I said earlier, and I needed to get Scrappy for an ability. I needed to get Scrappy because it was his hidden ability, and the only way to get that was through Ability Patch, so and more Dynamax Adventure, so another reason why this video took so long. But we were able to go for another max airstream into the Landorus, easily taking it out, because Landorus didn't resist that hit, and we're at time for special. I keep wanting to say special attack when it's attack. And he goes into a Tapu Koko. Shiny Tapu Koko. This one actually could be legit, because there was an event distribution. So, the maybe legit Tapu Koko, as other Pokemon are questionable, so we go for that. None of the moves that Sirfetch'd is carrying actually were able to hit Tapu Koko neutral, so I was a little worried here because he was obviously going to Dynamax last ditch effort. And remember when I said that Tapu Koko could have been not hacked? I'm pretty sure the distribution didn't come in a Beast Ball, and it was pretty hard to catch. I mean, he could have got it through Dynamax Adventures. You don't want to doubt this person. Doubt too much. So he Dynamaxes his Tapu Koko. We go for max airstream. Hopefully doing over half, which is not bad damage, but like I definitely see why he didn't kill, because of just the way the position we were in. So he goes for max airstream, almost taking out Paul, and he's getting his own speed boost up. But we got our Citrus Berry, we eat it, that massive Citrus Berry, that's the berry Dynamaxed along with us, and we shrink, we're back down to regular Sirfetch'd. And I was actually a little conflicted on what I wanted to do here, because after that max airstream damage, I wasn't sure if Brave Bird was actually going to be enough to kill, So I ended up deciding to go for close combat, not wanting to die from recoil damage, just wanting to keep Sirfetch'd alive a little longer, and it actually ends up taking out Tapu Koko, surprisingly, in its Dynamax form. And that'll be the end of the second battle, and the end of the video, actually. So if you enjoyed this video, why don't you go ahead and drop it a like, subscribe for more content, ring that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload, and leave a comment in the comment section below telling me what kind of theme team you want me to do next. And if you want to use this team, I'm going to be putting the rental code on the screen right now, so you'll be able to use it. Just type it in Sword and Shield and you'll be able to use this Beatles team. And I will be putting a Poke Paste bin in the description as well if you want to use the team on Showdown or you just want to see the EV spreads and how everything works behind the scenes. And that's it, guys. So as always, have a great day.